So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome everyone. Thank you for your time and participation. And also, I think my brother Enrique Gomisia Morse. I hope I said it correctly. I knew Enrique during my work with him together at Elm Company, and I knew him at that time leading research in data analytics and health tech. And I knew after that he was actually working on data analytics on Hunger Station, as well as other things. And I had this question, you know, how he managed to lead these projects and how he managed to do different things like these. And later on, I realized that, you know, he's also one of the Agile and Kanban masters. And I reached out to him to talk about this topic because I believe it's an important tool that we need it in our research and startups and maybe even government and large corporates. I will not take further time, but I would like again to thank you for participating. And please, we have in the chat, if you have any questions or comments, please post it there. So at the end of the discussion, we will open it for question and make sure to answer your questions. So without further ado, you know, I invite you to take the microphone and the lead in this.
Thank you, Sami. First, I want to thank HUED for giving me the space. I know that, mashallah, they are doing a very great job in almost everything that they touch, especially in these conferences and talks. Personally, I will love to thank Sami. I mean, since we met at Elm, it was for me, I never got enough time to spend with him. Alhamdulillah. He teaches you in every aspect from business to life. I will give a fast brief about me. I don't like this time lines because it's like I'm 21 years working now and I'm still not driving a Bentley, but alhamdulillah, we have other stuff. As you can see, I've been working in startups and enterprises since 2000. Most of these startups became later an enterprise, or they were under the umbrella of an enterprise. Like, for example, Zoom is the first one. This is a startup that was owned by my university in my hometown in Murcia. It's also part of my family name. And this was one startup that they started to work together with the university. That is something that I tried in Hunger Station, and it works here also in Saudi Arabia. And now it's one of the huge companies in the area. After willing to improve my English, I moved around Europe, and I've been working in GiveGaf. Some of you have been in UK. It's a virtual mobile operator. It's like Virgin in Saudi Arabia. Artificial solutions, that it's the chatbot of IKEA. It's done by them. It was also a startup when I started to work with them. Now they are established. They are one of the top in terms of NLP working solution. And Exat, it's a German company that is part of the Volkswagen Group. After alhamdulillah, I've been able to come to Saudi Arabia and give me the opportunity to come to the country. I joined them as a technical consultant, and I've been working with them 3 years as a first step. It was the first implementation of Scrum that I have seen in Saudi Arabia. I'm sure there were other ones in different companies, but during this time I was like focused there. We have been promoting Scrum in the company. It was a huge challenge. And I got a nice call, and I got a beautiful interview with the people of the Royal Court. And then I decided to move because they were doing an ambitious project in big data. And I didn't know the data that I was going to analyze when I joined them, but but the project was so beautiful. And even, as you know, Donald Trump came and put the hand over the ball, and all this dashboard that you have seen, my team did it.
Oh, mashallah.
And all the backend, of course, all the data analysis and so on. And after sometimes there, it was a comfort zone, because even it's as a startup, I mean, it's under the Royal Court and the things are quite easy. And I was hungry of working. And one day I got a talk with the founders of Hungary Station, and I loved what I see. And they told me, "Do you like to join us?" Then I joined them. But sadly, German people is not good as a Saudi people, and there were a lot of misunderstanding with the German. And I got a call to come back home as a research. That actually, I have two passions in my life. One is working with people, and another one is working in research. And then I took the opportunity, and I came back to my home in Saudi Arabia, to the company. And we are doing very beautiful stuff, working in AI, data analysis, healthcare, IoT projects, and so on. Then let's go with the agenda. My agenda is I will answer the two questions. I mean, why I call this Agile or Die. It's a game with words, but also it's a strong affirmation. And at the end, after talking about Agile, I will give some advice that you can use in startups, small ones, medium ones, SMEs, and in enterprise and your company, and any kind of business. Then, not taking more time, we go for why Agile or Die. I put the VUCA, that maybe some of you, they know it, but it's not a very old term. The first time that someone used VUCA was in the military in the United States. You can be surprised if you start to check how many terms of project management are born in the military. VUCA born in 1985, yeah. And basically it came to tell something that it's inherent in the human nature. I mean, the human have been always struggling to survive, because if you check in terms of physically, we are not stronger. Then we need to use our mind. That is what Allah gives us. Our strong muscle is the mind. And we have been always solving problems, first to get agriculture, to handle animals, farming, and so on. Then this is like human nature. It's ready and for the uncertainty that you can find in the world. I mean, just the weather change, we are ready for that. Sometimes these seeds, they will not grow like that. Sometimes you will have a suddenly disaster like happened now with the corona, that alhamdulillah we are going out. This is part of our life. I mean, also when you study AI and when you want to teach the machine to be like a human, you know, you have two kinds of problems. You have the basic game problems that are in a static world, like a chess game. It's a static, nothing will change, just what your opponent is doing with you. But after you have the real life problems, like you need to drive a car, then your software will need to be adaptive, like we are, okay, and need to deal with the ambiguity, they need to deal with the unknown and so on. Then, I mean, that's why I like the term VUCA, because it's something that it's not new, but it's get everything that explain how our life and how are actually now the business in nowadays. Because I mean, in the 80s, for example, the relation between computer and persons, it was one computer to 100 persons. After it became 1-to-1, and now we are like each person handle 4 computers, and the things keep growing like that. Then why you will die? It's because now our life, it's almost everything, it's about business. Now you need the money. We live in this capitalism. Then if you are not doing good business, you will die. If you are not ready to these changes, your company will die. And the people that is working for you will need to change, and it will be a problem. Then now we are going to see why I see the Agile thing as a solution for this changing world that we are dealing. Then, I mean, the Agile, again, it's not something that started 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it was signed, the Agile Manifesto, by these smart people, the 17. They got together and they write this manifesto that have a lot of, if you go to the agilemanifesto.org, you can read it. I got usually the things that more impact made for each one. Like, of course, you need to adoption again, and people over process and frequent delivery and so on. But the thing is, like, Agile, again, it's not something new. We have the examples in the, I mean, the most beautiful example, it's the one that I learned from a good friend. It's like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he came, he didn't came with everything in one shot. He came and he spent 10 years just with Tawheed, for example, and after everything came gradually. Then, yes, what we are doing now, we are giving names like Agile. These people, they found the Agile Manifesto to apply what the human being have been doing all his life in our business, because now our life go over the business and we need to be ready. I mean, the customers always want something new, and the customer these days give you feedback in 1 second. He puts a tweet in your company and it can kill you if we got good visibility. Then in the Agile world, there are, Agile it's huge. I mean, there are, that's why I put the bubble and I use the other ones, because Agile, it's whatever helps you to understand how your works it's working, and to understand how your people perform better, and basically to fit for purpose, to give to your client or your customer, it might be internal in the same company or it might be external, what they need. Then some companies, they can develop their own Agile methodology. Even some the methodologies that we are using, they born in one company, like lean manufacturing, as we know it born in Toyota, and the Kanban, it's part of the lean manufacturing. That's why it inherits almost the main things, like it's the reducing the waste, because we don't have time to waste. I mean, I cannot be moving the things from one department to another department. If it can be a process that can make this easier. Because the thing, we need to keep them simple, okay? Then from the lean, it came the Kanban method, that is something that I will explain a bit later, because for me, it's the one that fit in nowadays, even better than Scrum. And Scrum inherits from, especially from the from the Kanban method. It's like in Kanban, we have different levels. The first 2 levels are covered by Scrum. And XP is something that it was done when I start to work. Basically, in Spain, what they understand for extreme programming, it's like you do the work, whatever happens. And it was a little bit a disaster. But there are other things that are not agile, like the waterfall and PMI. This, I mean, you can use in your company when your work is extremely predictable. I mean, when you know exactly what you need to do and you know exactly what the customer is experiencing, maybe you can go for a waterfall. I mean, if you want to build a new building, you can have a waterfall project because the things need to be done, and you can have unexpected situation. Yeah, you can have a sandstorm, for example, that it can affect your timing, but the plan, somehow it will work. Okay, even you can have external issues with the suppliers, but the plan is very clear. Then you can do a waterfall. But nowadays, in almost whatever company, not only in IT, you need to be adaptive because the things go too fast. It's even difficult to see someone that watches a video in YouTube of more than 5 minutes. Now we are used to this speedy life. Now I already explained why Agile or die. Now I will start to give my advices. I mean, some people doesn't like to give a direct answer, but I don't have problems. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But for example, if I need to decide tomorrow in a company what I will do in Agile methodologies, I will go for Kanban. Why? I mean, I tried, and whatever or whoever is going to try, it will see that this works from the day one, because Kanban, it's an evolutionary method. The first application of Kanban was done in Microsoft, in the worst team in Microsoft, that it was a support team. They were handling 5 different requests from different applications. It was the worst. No one wanted to handle because they were having a delay of months with a backlog of infinite tasks to do. And David Anderson, that is the one that make it write down all these steps, all the Kanban method, he applied here and he got successful. And now the Kanban is like booming in the States and in Europe, because it's not only for IT companies. It's like I know people using in lawyer firms. I know people using in sales, especially in the bank business. In sales, they are using it a lot. Companies like Mercedes, they are using it. And we want to implement Kanban. My first question will be, please draw your process. I want to know your process. I want to know what are you doing to get your things done. Then you will draw your process for me, and we will start to discuss. I will start to inspect your process to understand what is your customer demand and what is your capability. Then based on your process, we will start to balance that. We are going, of course, to visualize it using the Kanban board that everyone maybe know. It's the basic one is to do, doing and done. This is the basic one that you can apply even at your home. But you will end with a full board, for example, that can explain your company, your team, your service, whatever. And the great thing is, like, you don't need, like in Scrum, if you want to escalate, you don't need to add another framework or another methodology. Kanban escalate itself. You start from individuals, and you go team level, service level, company level, and so on. Also, you can scale from a simple task to a portfolio. It's very helpful, actually. And basically, this is the real way to empower your team, because you involve them in, they need to explain you the process. Then they feel that they are being involved, and after, in each iteration, you keep getting feedback from them. And this, when you know your work, as I already mentioned, you will have predictable results. Like after 1 week of using, for example, Kanban, you will be able to know how many time you take into such type of task or the other type of task or whatever, because it's something that it can work either in daily basis, either in sprints. If you want to do iteration, you can do iteration. It doesn't enforce anything. It just understand what you are doing, and from the understanding, it start to make some touching, especially dealing with the capability that you can do. It limits you that we can what with the work in progress. It limit that, because when you limit the work in progress, you let the people focus. You let your team focus. Then they can finish the work in the real time. Because I mean, this thing of the multitasking is something that somehow they have sell a little bit for us, because you know, I mean, when you are working in something, to change from one task to another one, it will make you to lose time. You need to change a context, and it will be difficult. And then if you focus, it's always better. And it's another of one of reasons that why they don't allow us to drive and use the mobile, because we cannot do the two things at the same time. I mean, you cannot be texting with your friend in WhatsApp and driving. You will crash most of them. Then now there are some points that I saw that they work either in startups and either in companies. And it's important to keep in mind, like, I mean, every great company, I mean, as we know, it have a start. I mean, it was a startup. It's like, you can see from some farms here in the country, they were family business, and after they became a huge farmers, and after they evolved to other business and so on. You can see, for example, Al-Raji, he started himself alone, helping people, giving them some money and so on, and now he became, I mean, one of the huge banks in the Gulf. Then we need to keep in mind that everyone starts from a startup point of view, even Microsoft or the Jeff Bezos or whatever. Some of them, they were having more support, okay, but everyone starts with a small team, and after they evolve to something bigger. Even Elm started as a software development department in the Ministry of Interior. They were 20 people, and now it's a company of more than 2,000. And it's like that. Then the trick to go from small to big, the trick to grow your tree or your farm, after growing one tree, you can grow 1,000. It's like you need to have a continuous track. You need to have strong people with you. Without your team, there is no success. I mean, you can find the best seed in the world, you can plant it, it can have the best tree, the best palm tree, you will give the best sukari dates, but by yourself you can do one. After, if you want to have a farm, you need a team, and your team need to be strong, need to have clear responsibilities. It's not like you give someone, you handle the marketing and you handle the definition of the products because you are smart and at the end they are related and so on. No, people should have clear responsibility. Let the people focus and let them do one thing first, and after they can do another one. But let them finish and let them focus. Try to keep the structures light, like don't start to build, for example, if you are 10, don't start to have 2 developers, 1 team lead for the developers, 1 team delivery manager from another one. Don't make long chains between the people that is doing the work, the final work, to the people that owns the company or the final decision making. Try to don't make long chains, because information will be corrupted in the chain. And the information and the communication, it's the key in the success of any business. And yeah, as I repeat maybe 1,000 times, everything it's about people. Okay, human is not an individual being. I mean, there is no civilization that was done by only one man. That's why the companies make these gaming areas, allowing the people to have a nice break and play with the mates and so on. They want to make you happy, to give you more time in the company. Okay, I don't like this. I mean, they should have you happy, then you will work better. I mean, the goal should be different. It's not about being time, it's about being happy and giving more performance. I've been working in the deep development, and when you are happy, the time goes. I mean, when you are doing something and you believe on that, and you are enjoying what you are doing, and you understand the goal, and you understand what's going to happen, you will lose the time. You will, after 3 hours, you will see, whoa, subhanallah, I mean, I have not got lunch. I missed the prayer, astaghfirullah. I'm here and I have not disconnect. And even people will not ask for extra time. If you care of the people, you will save money. You will have much better results. I mean, it's something that, I mean, I have seen also, like that each person has a talent. I mean, this is something that I love. When I came to Saudi Arabia, I saw that here firing people, it was not easy like in Europe. Most of the time is good. Sometimes it's not good, because I mean, you cannot have someone idle, not doing anything. This is not good, of course, because this will hurt your team. I mean, your team, the people that is working, they will see, I mean, this guy is not doing anything. This is not good. But you need to discover for each one of your team members, each one in your company, you need to understand what is his talent. Maybe someone is not good in marketing, but after you let him you let him lead a team of operation, and he is the best, then you need to understand. You need to sit, spend some time with the people, because they are your real assets. Okay, you need to promote the empathy, you need to be humble, and you need to promote cooperation. Because we are going to do the team all together, the work, it's going to be done by all together, by a team, and as best is each individual, the team will be better. Then another suggestion, another advice is, like, it's important to identify your assets. Okay, I mean, don't waste time using something that maybe is not what you need to develop your product. Don't waste time with some process or with some with some maybe third parties and so on. I mean, you need to understand what is generating your revenue. Okay, why, for example, if you have a farm your assets, of course, are your people and the palm trees. I mean, who is generating your revenue? It's when you sell the dates, your revenue is there. Then you need to focus on that. You don't need, this is your main thing. Okay, you need to focus and have the best dates ever, because this increases your business value. It doesn't matter if, for example, the tracks that you are using to collect the dates and move them from another place are the best ones or not. If they are doing his work, it's okay. But you need to focus in the key assets. And you need to understand, for example, when a new idea came versus an existing product. Sometimes, as we know, I mean, they told you need to kill ideas, but also sometimes you need to kill good ideas. We have the example of Apple. I mean, in Apple, you don't have iPhone doesn't have the latest technology. When you get an iPhone, you are not getting the best camera, you are not getting the best screen, you are not getting something amazing between iPhone and iPhone. It's always the best that they can do. They have identified their assets and they are doing what they know that is the best. And they keep increasing their business value, but they keep focus on what they know that they can do. Also, if you see, they don't have a big portfolio of products. They have iPads, MacBooks, mobiles, and the smartwatches. They are not doing a lot of things. They are totally focused. They identify their assets and they are doing what they can do. Then another recommendation, it's like you need to build MVPs, because the MVPs, they are going to help you to reduce the risk. And sometimes they are going to give you money from the first day. If you do a good MVP that is satisfying what your customer wants, you are going to start to get revenue from the first day, because you reach the reality as soon as you can. You will see what is your customer looking for. You will get this feedback as soon as possible. You will see, I mean, if you have done a good skateboard, electric one, they will tell you, no, this is very slow. The battery is just 1 hour. I want to enjoy 3 hours. Then you will get the feedback as soon as possible. And in the future, you can give them a better battery and so on. But you have sell something, you have test the market, you were in the market, you cannot be waiting forever. If you don't deliver, what will happen? I mean, I have in my mind, I have an example for, we were in one of the first company that I've been working in my city, they were doing a video on demand. And 20 years ago, it was a good idea. We took like 1 year to go to the market. And when we went to the market, no one was ready to pay for downloading a film because internet was not ready and so on. And we took 1 year, and it was easy, like just put 3 films, put it there, see if people want it, and maybe you will face the reality. You will fail fast because it was not the time for doing that. The idea was good. Now we have Netflix, OSN, MB. I mean, we have now everything. It's like that, but not at that time. Then you need always to invest doing MVPs that will give you a taste of reality. It will give you a win fast if you are the first on the market. It's like with the food, you see, Hunger Station was one of the first, and they won because they were one of the first, not because they have something amazing. It's just they were the first on the market, and they went with whatever it was there. Application, people complaining about the application, okay, but it was there and you were able to use it. Then I will finish giving my final, like what I want you to keep in your mind. my takeaways is like trust in the people, care of your team. They are going to do the work. Focus on what you know. Be objective. I mean, don't be run by passion. And of course, be agile. This is this is the key here. I think that as all of our public should be from almost, they know Hungry Station. Hungry Station, it's amazing place for working if you want to understand why you need Agile. Because there I was the VP of engineering. My team were like 30 developers in different teams, mobile application, iOS, Android, web portal, integration. It's what connecting you with restaurants, operations, and so on. All the IT that it's the core of the company, but it's not the most important. I mean, doing business, it's the IT, you can have it, you can manage. It's a tool that you need it, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to be able to do good business, especially with the restaurants. They are very tough. Then in Hungry Station, focusing in the Agile, I tried first with a Scrum. Okay, I try to have the Scrum methodology, doing sprints of 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, 1 week, depending on the team. But as you know, I mean, Hungry Station, it's a daily company. Like each day you need to deliver. And if you deliver more, you get more revenue. Then your life it's on daily basis. And the changes are too fast. Sometimes, I mean, you cannot wait 2 weeks to deliver something because maybe you will be obsolete. The competitors, they will take a better offer, a better sales. They will have maybe a better delivery system. They will have a better way to handle the operation. Then you cannot wait sometimes. Then I saw that we were breaking sprints. That is the usual problem with Scrum, that you need to break the sprint and start again. Then all your plan went to waste. Then this was the time when I fall into the Kanban, because the Kanban allow you to work on daily basis, allow you to understand what it's the throughput of your team, what they are giving you each day, and allow you to understand better the process and identifying the assets properly. Like in Hungry Station, you have 3 main assets. You have drivers, because without drivers, you cannot deliver. There is no business here. And you have restaurants, because if you don't have food, in the case of the food, now delivery went for everything, you don't have anything to deliver. Then this show you that in the IT department, you need to focus first in fixing whatever is related to managing the restaurants and the drivers. If you are able to have a good connection with McDonald's, you will be able to increase from 1,000 orders daily to 100,000. And if you are good controlling the system of the driver, you will be able to handle, instead of 1,000 drivers, 10,000 drivers daily. Then once you have this part, the most important part done, you can go to having a more beautiful application with better design, more attractive, and so on. Because at the end, the people, when they order food, they want to have the food as soon as possible. They want the meat hot. I mean, no one's like to eat a cold burger. Okay? Then this is what the Kanban method helped me. And the results, they were good, because when I came Hungry Station, the daily orders, they were between 20 and 50,000. When I left, it was 250,000. And the main key for me, what I'm proud that they have done there, it was like the team fixed the restaurant integration. They make it very good. And also the operations were with a good help. Other things they will improve, the signing of the app and so on, but this was secondary and it came later. And it's something that you can always fix with the time. I mean, we don't care too much when you order food. You want to know what you can order and you want it soon in your home. If it's more rounded or the colors are more beautiful, it helps, but it's not the main key.
Enrique, and thank you everyone for attending.